Which terrible product should I start with? Today we're going to talk all about what didn't work for me in 2020, the worst products that I tried. I have makeup and a few skincare and hair care products in here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I did one of these last year to kick off my best of 2020 videos, just to kind of get the worst products out of the way. A lot of you found it helpful, so I thought I would do another one. I am going to be interspersing my best of 2020 videos all throughout December and doing quite a bit more content in December than I normally do. So be on the lookout for some extra videos from me this month. And let's go ahead and get started with some makeup products that just did not work for me in 2020. Now, I'm not gonna go through every single product that didn't work for me. These are just the ones that really stood out to me or really disappointed me that they didn't work in some way. So I'm gonna talk about some concealers. Two of them were launches this year, and I feel like they worked for a lot of people, but they just didn't work for me. The first was the Hourglass Vanish Concealer, and you'll notice that most of these products, actually pretty much all of them, are gonna be flashed up in the corner because I don't really hold on to things very long if I see that they don't work for me. This concealer I tried to make work for me for a while, but in the end, I just feel like it didn't really do great things for my dry textured under eye area. I just feel like it emphasized all the things that I don't like emphasized under my eyes as the day went on. So I did end up ditching it and going back to my reliable concealers that I love. And I actually just did a video on my favorite concealers. And the second concealer is from Rare Beauty. I liked it upon initial application. I felt like it looked good, but as I checked in throughout the day, I just felt like, again, it emphasized texture. It started feeling a little dry. I feel like both it and the Hourglass are better for more normal under eyes or oily under eyes, I guess. Just not my under eye area, which is dry and textured and has fine lines. I mean, fighting all the aging issues, neither one of these did me any favors whatsoever. So the third is from JOA, and it was recommended to me from several viewers. So the name of it is actually the Truly Yours Dark Circle Concealer, and it gave okay coverage. I would say light to medium coverage, which is fine on some days. My problem with it wasn't that it was unflattering or drying, but it wouldn't build underneath my eye. And sometimes when I'm dealing with a light to medium coverage concealer, I do like to dab just a tad bit more into the hollow of my under eye just to get a little extra coverage. Even when I'm using a corrector underneath, I just need to do that sometimes. And when I tried to build it, it stuck to itself and it just would not build. It was really hard to work with. I was disappointed by that because it was a great price point and I feel like a lot of people like it, but I think they don't have as dark circles as I do and they may not need to build it. And now I do want to say about all these products that I know some of you might really like them. Everybody's different. What works for you may not work for me and vice versa. So if I don't like these products, I don't mean to offend you in any way. And I'll try to put some alternative products below the products that I am not liking in the description box down below. If you're on mobile, just hit the title below the video. If you're on desktop, look below the title and you'll see show more below the little summary paragraph, and that's how you get to the description box. I had a massive eye primer fail in 2020. I still cannot get over how bad this product was. This is probably actually one of my top product fails of 2020, not just for the eye primer, but overall, it was that bad. Apparently, I disliked it so much, I forgot to say the name when I was filming this video. It's the Strivectin Blur Factor for Eyes. And in the comments section of my April Favorites and Fails video, I had a ton of you say the same thing that I did. So it says it's supposed to brighten and correct and be a great primer for both under the eyes and on the lids. It did not blend out or sink into my skin. It kind of balled up and sat on top of the skin. It made texture look emphasized. It was just one of the worst primers I've ever used. I mean, seriously terrible. It just made my entire eye area look dry and like it was flaking. I tried it in so many different ways. It was just one of the worst products I tried in 2020, actually. Seriously terrible. I'm gonna insert a hair product here and then move back to makeup. This next fail, worst product, may come as a surprise to a lot of you because I talked about it in a very recent favorites and fails, kind of giving you an update, but I didn't really love it or hate it at the time. I was just giving you an update because I recently hauled it. Well, I've since decided this is just a fail for me. I don't like it, and I'm gonna give you the reason. I've decided that the GHD Rise, it just doesn't work for me. Every time I use this, my hair looks more flyaway at the root. And when I use it on filming days, every time I sit down to film, I'm very fussy with my hair. I always end up going and restyling it. And I'm not someone that has to look perfect every time I film. I mean, you know, today I'm very casual. I just, you know, I'm filming how I'm filming. I'm not dressed up. I don't have to be all, you know, done. But I just feel like I'm always messing with out of place hairs with it. My hair looks stringier than normal. I'm not sure if it's because the barrel's not big enough or if it's because my hair catches in it sometimes. I have given this several weeks to try it and to get used to it, and I just don't like the way my hair looks with it as much as I do with my other hair tools, and it takes me longer. So this is just kind of a massive fail for me because it cost a pretty penny and I really wanted to like it a lot. I felt like it was going to save me some steps by smoothing and giving me volume and curling all in one tool, but it's not saving me time. It's not making my hair look better. So it is one of the worst products for me in 2020. This powder is from a brand that I generally like products from. I don't typically have a lot of misses from Laura Mercier, but the Glow Translucent Setting Powder, I have tried many times to get it to work. I just can't. It does not work for me whatsoever. I've tried using the tiniest amount as a finishing powder to just give a subtle glow, and it just always makes me look like I have golden face. And I use that analogy in my February video. It just makes me look metallic every time. No matter how much I use, I just do not get along with this product whatsoever, and so it is a huge fail for me. But let it be known that I do love her other translucent setting powders and many Laura Mercier products. Just this one, no. So sticking with setting, I think it was either in January or February, I talked about the Rimmel setting spray and how terrible the nozzle was. I could not even get it to spray out properly. It just sprayed out in spritzes all over my face. That was a big disappointment because I felt like I had found some decent products from Rimmel throughout 2020. There are too many setting sprays with great sprays now to have one with that crappy of a spray. It was absolutely terrible, huge disappointment. I hope they've revamped it because it was really bad. All right, I'm going to sprinkle in another hair care product, the Briogeo Banana and Coconut Shampoo. This was a big disappointment to me because I feel like, number one, I've tried some really great shampoos and conditioners in 2020. Stay tuned because I will be sharing that with you in one of my best of videos. But I love the Kale and Apple shampoo and conditioner, and I loved the scent of this. It kind of had this subtle Laffy Taffy scent. I really didn't like the texture of it. It was super watery and thin, so that was kind of my first thing. But the other thing was that it just really dried my hair out a lot, and I feel like it takes a lot for a shampoo to make my hair feel as dry as this made it feel. I've also had a lot of luck with Briogeo as a brand, very similar to Laura Mercier earlier. I just have not had a lot of fails, and this one was pretty massive, and I realized it early on. This shampoo and conditioner was not going to work for me. It just was a fail. One of the worst products I tried in 2020. I don't know how many of you tried the Becca Ignite highlighter this year. It came out and it was beautiful. It was in this really big bottle and they had some really beautiful shades. It was made for the face and the body. So I was just really excited about it, and I got it and was blown away at how terrible and how strong it smelled. It went back pretty quickly because I just could not take the scent at all. That was really disappointing to me because I feel like you should be able to make a liquid product that does not have such an overwhelming scent to it. And I know that there are several people that felt the same way because I saw that in my comments and I saw it in other videos too. I don't know what was up with that product, but it was not good. So I really just have two lip products, and I'm not really sure if I talked about one of these as being a fail. I did recently talk about the other in a favorites and fails. It was either October or November, I think. But the ColourPop lip oils were a big disappointment to me. I do enjoy a lot from ColourPop, and they have a lot to pick from. I have tried quite a few lip oils this year, and I've fallen in love with them. I just love the nourishment and I feel like a lot of them have a nice scent to them. They hydrate and they just make my lips feel really, really good. I did not like the way these sat on my lips or the way they smelled. They kind of just had this oily smell to them. Just a generic oil smell. It wasn't good at all. So these were written off for me pretty quickly, and it's a shame because they have some really nice shades too. And the packaging is really pretty. They could have been really giftable. No. The other one that I haven't really mentioned much, I know I did mention it in some kind of video, just kind of as an aside, the Patrick Ta lip liner. I know, I feel like I'm in the minority in that one, but it was a pretty big fail for me because of the shape of the tip. I know there are a lot of people that really like it. I guess it wears well and all that, and they have great shades, but I just don't understand why you would put a rectangular tip on a lip liner, and I hated using it. It just didn't make sense to me. I found it cumbersome and pointless, no pun intended, to use. And yeah, that was a big disappointment. I feel like the formula was pretty nice, but it just was not worth it to me to spend the time using that when I have other great lip liners that have a normal tip to them that I can use. I still have a few categories of makeup, but I'm gonna go ahead and insert the 3 skincare products that stood out to me as being just terrible for me in 2020. So a lot of you probably remember, if you watch my monthly favorites and fails, my experience with the e.l.f. CBD body cream, how I used it for a very short period of time and my body reacted in some way and became very dry. Now, it wasn't a reaction to the CBD because I've used CBD body lotions in the past and have had very good experiences. So it was something else in the e.l.f. product that made my skin so incredibly flaky, dry. It was unrepairable with my typical means of, just getting back to using my regular super moisturizing lotions. I did talk in a few recent favorites and fails videos about how I did get things back on track and what I'm using now, and you'll hear more about that in my best of skincare video. But that was such a terrible product for me that really tore up my skin quite extensively. I would not go near any of the e.l.f. CBD products again, and I've had great luck with so many e.l.f. products this year and in the past. I was quite shocked by what happened with that product and paid the price for a little while. Another skincare product that I was surprised by, because I've generally had nice experiences with Derma E products, was their cleansing balm. I've used a few cleansing balms in the past that have been difficult to rinse off, but this was another level. I mean, this left a layer of thick film on my skin that took me forever to rinse off. And I even tried it a few times thinking it was something that I had done. No, it was just the balm. Not good, would never go near it again. And I was so glad to know that I was not the only one that had that experience. Very surprising. This last skincare product I almost didn't put in here because I didn't want to put products in here that really broke me out or flared up my rosacea, because that's such an individual thing. Just because it does that to me doesn't mean it's going to do that to you. Even though that was a fail, it doesn't mean it's a bad product. I did talk about the e.l.f. product because I've heard some of the e.l.f. CBD products doing that to other people, some friends of mine as well. But I did put this in here because I've had such great success with other products from Paula's Choice for my sensitive rosacea skin. So I thought that the 1% retinol was going to work great for my skin, but it did flare up my rosacea, and I was just disappointed by that. I still am not sure why. I feel like it should have worked really well. So I'm not sure I'm labeling this, a worse product. I mean, none of these are worse products overall because they work for somebody, right? They were just worse products for me individually. I was really disappointed that it did flare me up like it did. Moving on to blush, CoverGirl came out with their Clean Fresh line this year, and the product that stood out to me a lot from this line as being just not good, especially if you have more mature skin, was their cream blush. I have quite a few cream blushes. Some of them have sheen to them, kind of like a blush with a highlight mixed in. I love those. That's what I thought these were going to be. These were straight up metallic. They just emphasized everything bad. I think I talked about these in my February favorites and fails, and you can see on those swatches, it just even looks bad on my hand. I mean, it just, was just such not a pretty look. Another blush that was just not a good product for me in 2020 was the Fenty Cream Blush. I think there are some beautiful shades and I do like the formula, but the longevity just wasn't there for me. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I have seen that I'm not the only one that feels this way, which makes me feel a little bit better. But I do feel like, you know, when you're paying that price, you should have a longevity factor built in there. And I have too many cream blushes that do last on my skin to bother with ones that don't, you know? So I just don't reach for it like I thought I would because it just doesn't last like I want it to. I'm gonna round this video out with 4 foundations that just did not work for me in 2020. Again, these are not bad products overall. I think that there are people that these probably work really well for. They just don't work for me. I have oily combination skin. It does get shiny in the T-zone and it's more normal around the perimeter. So the first is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, which looked really, really beautiful on application and gave me medium coverage, but after about an hour, it just made me a grease pit and it started feeling really, really heavy on my skin. And it also broke apart, which is a deal breaker. So that was just a no-go for me. Also, Shiseido Synchro Skin, they revamped an original that I absolutely loved and that totally looked like skin. The reformulation does not look like skin. It's also not a natural finish. It looked more dewy on my skin. I could also feel it, and it just did not settle that well on my skin as the day went on either. The JCat Aquasource Powder Foundation, I know a lot of people like, but it also didn't settle well on my skin. It kind of sat on top of my skin, made me greasy really, really fast, as did the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint, which I know a lot of people with dry skin love, and I think all of these are probably really, really great for people with dry skin. And I can wear some foundations made for dry skin, but not these. The Ilia in particular just made me particularly greasy very, very fast as well. It was just, no. If you haven't seen my best under eye concealers video, I'll have it linked here for you. Be sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss my best of 2020 videos coming up all throughout December. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your worst product, your standout worst product for 2020 is. And if you want extra bonus content for me or just want to support the channel in some way, be sure and hit that join button down below the video or in the link in the description box, and check out more information about joining the Stephanie Marie Circle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.